Senator Inhofe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have to say that, Mr. Alderman, that's one of the better descriptions that I've heard of bureaucratic problems that we have. I've written it down. You know, I'm new to this committee, but we've already had it. You've been here as a witness before, and it's been fascinating to me. And as we watch the successes and some things that are working and aren't working, but it seems like every time someone testifies, they come right back to the issue of the canines. You know, the dogs are there, and I fail to see what the problem is. You know, first of all, you say that anyone who's training these dogs has to be certified by the TSA. Is that correct?
The way the program is going to work, and I believe the language in the legislation, TSA would set the standards for suppliers of the dogs to use. They would be trained.
Have they already done this?
They are in the process of doing it. They've already set the standards for their own dogs, the TSA dogs that are currently operating. I haven't seen standards for the third-party canine program for screening air cargo, but I can't imagine those standards are going to be very different from what they've already done. So my guess is that that part of the process has been done, but I haven't seen it finally.
Well, you know, I just don't see the problem with this because.
Well, neither do we, sir.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I've been the ranking member on the Senate Armed Services Committee. We have the same problem right there in getting the adequate number of dogs, the talents there. People train. There are a number of people who train it, but if they have to be certified by the TSA and they haven't yet done it, the question would be, and you're not the TSA, so I can't ask you, but I will ask the TSA, why haven't they already done it? And then guidelines, for example, what role do higher education institutions play in this? Are they involved in this?
They certainly can be. They're not specifically involved in this, but certainly the educational institutions, and there are several of them around the country that are involved very intimately in the canine program.
Yeah, and one of those is Oklahoma State University. And yet, when I went over to check, they don't actually get involved in training the dogs. They're think tanks. They're putting together programs. What do we want? It seems to me that we're beyond that point. And so I think this committee could be helpful in trying to actually go out there and get more dogs. I mean, there's lots of other issues here, but that's one that's consistently has come up. So are you familiar with with some of the programs like Oklahoma State University?
I'm familiar with some programs. I believe Auburn has one, Oklahoma State has one. There are several other universities. I'm not intimately familiar with exactly what they're doing, but they have a role in this. They clearly have a role in this, and any help that they can be to the TSA, I'm sure TSA would be glad to take.
Okay. Well, I just want to get to the point where we actually get more dogs. Now, all of you have talked about the 5-year term, which I think that'd be consistent with the FAA's and their 5-year term. Is this something that you all agree on? It seemed we were here and we did go ahead and approve a director. And I think we went without a director for about 8 months. So that is a hardship. So we will pursue that. I didn't realize my time's expired. Thank you.
Senator Inhofe, I don't think your time had expired. You still have a minute.
Oh, well, on my little clock it said, okay, well, maybe that's a message just to me.
Maybe it is. In the interest of time, we'll just move on.
Well, let me ask one final question, Mr. White. You mentioned the fee diversion that's taking place. Tell us about these fee diversions.
Well, the intent
with the PFCs or what?
Well, the security charges don't always remain for the purpose they were designed for. Some of the funding does go into other agencies outside.
Can you give some specific examples? Or
there's some that are used, for instance, for ocean and the purpose of screening passengers on the ocean side. Mm-hmm. There's other things that are being used for just in general funds that are being moved not for security purposes. I don't have specifics, but we can give you a list of those.
Okay, for the record, I'd be interested in knowing that.
We'll be glad to get those for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.